National anthem of Trinidad and Tobago just being strung out on the PA system at the National Stadium. Good evening everyone, I'm Ashford Jackman, and with me doing commentary today is Keith LeCloy. And Keith, welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ashford. Thanks very much. Good afternoon, viewers. The atmosphere today is not quite the same as last week Wednesday down at Kinner Park. It's not quite as crowded and as jam-packed, but we expect a good game here today. It's a big picture, as we all know, and we expect that the two teams will want to take this game within regulation time and not have to go into extra time, and certainly not into the penalty shootout situation, because of course they each have a game on Friday in the division finals, and they will no doubt have that in the back of their mind and not want to have to work too hard to win today.
Yes, and as we speak about the Big 8 competition, it is a bit crowded, as we were speaking just before the start of our live telecast. A bit about the ground, Keith, because the stadium, knowing that we have a game here on November 19th, Trinidad and Tobago against the United States, and it's a bit sparse in the middle, lacking of grass.
Yes, it is, and I was making the comment, as you said, prior to the game, that they will have some work to do on this pitch to prepare it for November 19th, because even at the distance from the broadcast booth, you can see that it does not look too smooth. And although it's well marked, hopefully it won't present too many problems with regard to ball control here this afternoon.
Yes, that was a problem that these two finalists experienced at Kinner Park last week. The hard bounce of the ball. Princestown, by now you will have recognized them from anywhere. They're in the all-white strip this afternoon, and it seems they will be defending the northern goalpost, which is under the scoreboard at the National Stadium. Signal Hill to the right of your picture, last year's beaten finalists. They were beaten by Malik Senior Comprehensive in the replay of the final by a 0-0. And we will be back after a brief message from our sponsor in time for the kickoff. So this telecast being brought to you courtesy Coca-Cola, the National Intercol final. And just to let you know, the officials are the same as last week. Ramesh Ramdan is the man in charge. On the far side, this is Douglas James, and Lincoln Ram Logan is the linesman in the foreground, to the right of your picture. Adrian Roberts, by the way, the Signal Hill defender who was sent off in the Intercol final, the first game, see its back, and we can only hazard a guess, as Keith pointed out, that he probably played in their last Big East game, the quarterfinals. Of course, Keith, as we pointed out so many times in this competition, the crowd certainly has not turned up in support, and one perhaps could not expect too much of a turnout here with Signal Hill, the Tobago champions, playing the South champions in the game.
Well, naturally, Ashford, had it been a North Zone team in this game, undoubtedly there would have been a better response from the North Bay public. But Princeton have brought some people up. We can see them in the bleacher section across the park. But nothing like they did for the Malik semi-final, and certainly nothing like they brought out for last week Wednesday's game, and this is only natural. But undoubtedly the two teams will put their best foot forward and give all effort.
Jason Goodfoot going up for Signal Hill. And finally the ball is cleared. Picked up by Bruce Boris. Boris wearing number 18. And he's on a break here, but Ike Jurawan is easily in position. The foul committed by Jason Johnson. In fact, that was Jason Birchwood, one of the two central midfield players. Quickly taken free kick. Clifton Gomez trying to put some pressure on. Sambury, cleared by Selvan Martin. And there's been just one change in the starting lineup. Number 14, Neil Lewis, is playing in this game for Signal Hill. And James Sandy, who started the final, is on the bench. There have been no changes in the Princestown starting lineup. And given the performance of Princestown in this season, one would have to expect that he would hardly turn this team, make too many changes in this team.
Well, undoubtedly, they start well against St. Augustine on Saturday. Going 2 goals down and then coming back to win by 4 goals to 2, as we know. And there's absolutely no need to change a team that's scoring goals like that, almost at will. And no doubt they will want to see the same kind of performance here this afternoon.
They replace the back. Duncan punches it forward. Here's Jurawan. Gomez. Picked up by Gregory Thomas. Worrell knocks it back to Jurawan. Real Thomas. 2 Thomases in the Princestown team. The big defender, number 3, is Real, and Gregory, number 9, is the nippy midfielder. Derek Roberts can't get there before the defender. And this is Phillips pushing it forward. Thomas can't control it.
So we can see the uneven bounce of the ball, Ashford. It's rolling along and then bouncing up maybe a foot or more off the surface, and it seems to be a very uneven surface out there. Nonetheless, Princestown in particular, and already still as well, they're trying to play the ball around, which is to their credit.
I've just picked up something as well. The person who normally plays the sweeper, the number 8, here he is on the ball, and that is Colin Phillips, is now playing the left side midfield for Signal Hill. Neil Lewis, the number 14, the new man that we are seeing, he's playing in the sweeper back position.
Well, Colin Phillips was a member of the National Under-20 team, which I coached and went to Honduras, and he did play in a midfield role. He played in a central midfield role, but we did use him in preparation games, practice matches as a flank midfielder. And he can go forward, he can hit the ball very hard, and he can hit it well. So it would be a useful tactical move, perhaps, to put him in a more advanced position here today.
So Signal Hill having made 1 or 2 adjustments to their team. Steven Aline just playing the ball back out. Number 5 is Roger Groom. He's the left back. Header by Boris. Spencer. Well, I suppose you have to start somewhere, Keith.
Well, it wasn't a very bad idea. In fact, it was a decent idea to try to take that shot on the half turn with his shoulder to the goal. Far too often we see young players in particular seeking to face the goal directly before they take a shot. But he went for the element of surprise. He didn't connect with it. It came off the outside of his left foot and went wide. But perhaps had he hit it correctly, it would have been on target and posed some problems to the goalkeeper.
There's Phillips again, throw in for Signal Hill. Warrell does well. 0-1. Thomas. Kevin Barrow. And Princess Tong methodically get it upfield, but only as far as Sandri, who is fouled.
Well, that was very good ball movement after they had the ball along the right flank, moved it to the center, up the line, further up the line, and that movement had 7 passes and it interrupted only by a foul. So it's good ball possession and good ball movement.
Just a lack of communication there between the goalkeeper and Neil Lewis. As Goddard was coming forward. But here's Duncan laying it back for Groom. Birchwood plays it up only as far as 0-1. These two teams played to a 1-all draw last week at Skinner Park in the final. And as is the case this afternoon, it was also a very slow start. Gregory Thomas for Princestown.
Well, these teams are tired after. It has been a long, hard season with an average of just over 2 games or 3 games a week. These are young boys, 16 years old, 17 years old, and to ask them to play that many games in such a short space of time, a few months, is very hard. So that by now they are tired.
And they still have a long way to go as both Signal Hill and Princestown are in the Big 8 semi-finals. Fortunately for them, they are not going to meet. But once again, Malik have found themselves the defending champions against Princestown in the semi-final. Princestown got the better of them in the Intercol, and they will meet on Friday in the league semi-final. As we see Clifton Gomez about to take the free kick, and Roger Sandri is heading back to the half line. I'm not sure exactly what is going on. Gomez does a tremendous amount of work during the game, doesn't he?
Yes, perhaps even too much. I believe that particularly midfield players have to be very efficient in their movement.
Well, he's causing some confusion here, and the shot brilliantly hit. But a whistle had gone. In fact, it didn't go into the goal.
Yes, but it wasn't far off. It wasn't very far off. It was a well-struck shot. But I was making the point that perhaps Gomez does a little too much. I think that the two players in particular need to be very efficient and get the maximum mileage out of the least amount of gas. And perhaps he needs to contribute a little more so that he can do more when he does have the ball.
Princestown beginning to look rather confident. That shot must have done much for their morale. But it certainly fooled me. It hit the side netting and then seemed to stay there for a while. For a moment I thought it was stopped in the net. And of course where we are doing commentary from, it is a little difficult to be certain.
But again, it was the individual skills of Gomez that produced the opportunity. This is what you want from a central midfield player in particular, to get forward with and without the ball and cause problems, and he does it quite well.
Here's Spencer. Warrell comes off the hand of Boris. Play goes on. Birchwood. Duncan has to check. He can't get there. Now it's Duncan. Who scored for Signal Hill the opening goal in the final last week. There's Nigel Curry in your picture. So we've had 10 minutes play thus far, and just the one shot from Princestown that hit the side netting. Martin plays it back, and Lewis up for safety.
Particularly with the formation that Princestown is playing, where they have their classes midfield men going forward as wingers and then coming back as wing backs. It places a tremendous physical burden on these two players, and they must be tired by now after an entire season of playing that type of up and down football. This was the same system that was played by the under-20 team, and in fact all the national teams, as far as I know until the present moment. We don't know what the new technical director will introduce, but certainly over the past year or so, and it is very, very hard on the flank defenders who, as I said, combine their performances, their roles as wing-backs and wingers.
And Sylvan Ali certainly looked jaded in the last couple of games. The number 7 who plays the right side for Princestown. As we see Groom with the awkward ball trying to get it clear, and it's picked up by Gomez, who wants to try Richard Goddard in the Signal Hill goal. No problems there for the goalkeeper. But a while ago we were speaking about Clifton Gomez, and he takes all the corners, all the dead balls. In fact, sometimes he takes the goal kick, and he's everywhere on the field. And you wonder, if they're really not asking too much of him.
Well, this is the point I was making, Ashford. That isn't necessary, because this Princestown team has many players with good technique who can take a corner kick or take a free kick. And having him run over every blade of grass on the pitch, doing this and doing that, is, I think, an abuse of his talent, because when he does get the ball, if he were not doing that amount of work, he would have so much more effort, so much more energy, I should say, and strength to do things with it. And there's no need for a player to be running, kicking corner kicks, through free kicks, goal kicks, not at this level.
Derek Roberts picks it up and tries to go around Adrian Roberts, his namesake. Young Adrian Roberts will be anxious to show his worth this afternoon. He didn't have a particularly good game. It ended very unfortunately for the young man with a sending off in the final Wednesday last. Here he is now, and getting the ball clear, but only as far as one of the Signal Hill players, the Princestown players. And that looks to be Kevin Barrow who had the shot.
Well, he no doubt will be fancying his chances of scoring here today. He had 4 in his last outing, and he simply could not go wrong. And no doubt he will want to continue today where he left off on Saturday night. And it was correct to take that shot. He was just on the edge of the box. The ball was coming back at him. He didn't hit it right, but it was correct to have a go at the goalkeeper.
Well, yes, I can confirm now it was Kevin Barrow, the number 10. Remember when we did live commentary on the Malik QRC game, we were remarking that Malik was trying shots all the time and QRC were failing to do so. And it worked out in the end for Malik as you predicted. And here we have Princestown, who have already had 2 or 3 tries, and some of them not that bad, not that far off target.
Well, after all is said and done, Ashford, the name of the game is scoring. This is why we play. You play to score goals, and you need to score goals to win, and if you don't shoot, you can't score. And therefore, the team that takes the most shots, chances are, will be the team that wins. So that, I always encourage players to shoot, and it's in fact an art that is perhaps lost from the local team, or not practiced enough, not with enough finesse and refinement and accuracy. So So that young players always need to be encouraged to shoot, and when they do shoot, even if it's off target, then you still encourage them.
Kevin Barrow, the man who scored the beaver trick against St. Augustine, will take the corner. As always, we look for the tall figure of Real Thomas, number 3 for Princestown. This one falls short. Here's Gomez. And he's onside, Kevin Barrow, but can he keep it in? Does well, in fact. Boris is the player who's come back defensively and under pressure. Plays it out for another throw. One across, but this one is cleared by Neil Lewis. Steven O'Neill looks for Derek Roberts. Selvan Martin with the clearance. Here's Gomez again. Carries the ball well. Into a crowd of players, and it falls fortunately perhaps for Barrow. And Barrow still going.
Oh, and he was overcome by his own anxiety then. He did good work, of course, again, all engineered by Gomez. He is such a beautiful player to look at. He's very, very fluent in his movement. He carries the ball so well. He has very good technique. And he got into the box and was, as I said, overcome by his own anxiety. Perhaps he should have gone for a cross, or certainly if he went for a shot, he should have gone low and hard to the far post. I think he elected to go to the near post and went over the bar instead, but it was certainly good football to look at, quite entertaining.
And the pressure not up yet. Here's Derek Roberts trying to go past one. Lewis does well, and it's played wide to Phillips. And it pushes it straight, puts some pressure on Boris, who does well and hoists the ball across. And the two Princestown defenders anxious to get that ball clear. Robert Kill into the body of Real Thomas. Roberts is available. Does he pick it up cleanly and fires this one several yards over bar. So the game perhaps just picking up a bit of pace. And we've just completed 18 minutes.
But as yet, Ashford, Princestown, the goalkeeper Guzman has not really been tested. He hasn't really been brought into the game other than to retrieve balls from behind the net. And I think that the penetration so far in the opening session of this game has come from Princestown. And they've already had a number of chances to take good cracks at goal, and they look very dangerous.
Couldn't agree with you more. As Spencer trying again here for Signal Hill. Here's Spencer. The tackle comes in from Thomas. One wonders if that 4-2 triumph, as you spoke about earlier, against Dustin, if that has done so much for their confidence. The Princestown have really started much better than the original final. That's coming from Nigel too, by the way.
Well, I think that these games, my experience at this level of the game with this type of tournament is, of course, 1990 with Malik, and it is my belief that this type of game, such as the come from behind victory against St. Augustine, does wonders to your self-confidence, as you say, and the team begins to believe in itself and its capacity to recover and to win no matter what. And I think this is the stage that Princestown are at now. Of course, not saying that they cannot lose, but they are a very difficult team to beat precisely because of this.
Let's go to it. One of the Princestown forwards. It might have been Gregory Thomas, yes, just holding his head. as he went up for a ball. Mike just took an accidental blue. And Colin Phillips is chasing. Worrell is bowled over. But Steven Aline does the rest. Now Gomez can't control. But still he gets an excellent attempt at a pass. Roberts trying to retrieve it for Princess Town. Lewis. This is the first I've seen of the number 14 this year, and he hasn't looked badly in the sweeper position.
He looks a steady player. He's reading the game well, and he's covering his three defenders in front of him. And as yet, we haven't really seen him make a mistake, so he looks tidy now.
Groom plays it forward, and in fact, Phillips is the left side player. He's onside. Interception by Jurawan. Always the most serious man in that Princess Town defense, and always turning around and talking to his fellow defenders.
Jurawan is a player who, again, I know from the under-20 team, and I think he has really grown in stature and in experience over the course of this season. He has become a very confident player on the ball. He uses it well. He reads the game well and supports his defenders in front of him where they and he needs to, because where Princess Town are vulnerable is on the counter-attack in the flank space behind their flank defenders if they don't come back. And already you've seen Signal Hill players get into that space behind the flank midfield players, and they need to be very careful with it.
Well, a bit of confusion on the corner as Signal Hill had taken the corner, couldn't touch it apparently. One player, and Derek Roberts tried to come away with it, but in the end we have another corner to be taken by Bridgewood. Riel Thomas, the first man to it, naturally. Duncan having the shot. Roberts. Two. Being tried here by Signal Hill. Get the ball across and then perhaps just trying to pound it in, hoping to get a shot at goal. Thomas gets the header. Anything in the air, he's likely to win it. Here's Martin. Now Gomez. Gregory Thomas. Excellent ball. Steven Aline. Chance for the counter-attack. Birchwood. And I thought he might have played it to the more difficult situation. Phillips comes away with it. Birchwood again fouled by Gomez. In fact, the foul is given against Princess Town.
Princess Town need to be very careful at this point after, because Signal Hill are beginning to come into the game, and they're finding spaces, as I just said, along the flanks, behind the flank attackers when they go forward and can't retreat in time. And Jurawan, I think at this point, is playing a little too much up under his defenders so that he can't get across enough, or with enough time rather, to pick up those balls and confront the attacking, oncoming Signal Hill players. So they need to be very careful that they do not concede a goal at this point after having had so much possession.
Phillips leads it. Kerr with the shot, and it was charged down by Jurawan. First man to the ball, I thought. As in the case of the original final heat, I fear that this game needs an early goal to bring some light to it.
There is certainly enlightened proceedings. I think that you're quite right. Any final is one in which the teams are cautious, and an early goal will encourage the team that scores and force the other team to come out and play. And in the end, you may not always have the best football, but you certainly have excitement and goals. And after all, this is what the team fans want to see, because they do not always look at the game with, from a coach's viewpoint or from a technician's viewpoint. They want to see action and see goals and play. And this is what they should always have.
Martin swings it across. A good period for Signal Hill, but they're not getting too many shots, as Keith has already noted. Robert Unlucky, couldn't keep it in place. But a game effort from the number 2. Here's Sambu. Duncan steals it from them. And the tackle coming from Thomas, and Duncan was wise enough to get out of it.
He's a tough customer himself, so when he gets out of the way, you know what kind of tackle is coming in.
This time Thomas is beaten to it by Crew, who flicks it on looking for Boris. And Boris going to the floor and looking to the referee, hoping for something. Ball headed back in by Adrian Roberts. Warrior gets a touch to it. Phillips again, the man on the left side. Well, in 3 games, 3 Intercol games, Signal Hill have used 3 players on that left side. James Sandy was substituted. Kurt Spencer took up the position in the midst of the Intercol final, as a foul here on Kurt Spencer. And it's in an interesting position. But in fact, it seems they've given the free kick to Princess Strong. Though it was the Signal Hill player who went down, but the referee would have seen the infringement. Here's Gomez. Makes room for himself nicely. Jackson. Still Jackson. Just a bit too fine. And a chance for Kurt Spencer to run to goal.
That was excellent work by Thomas. It was excellent work. He didn't lose his head, and he made he saw a very nice reverse pass to the outside of his foot. It was excellent work.
2-1 coming in strongly. Cleared by Jackson again. Gregory Thomas with the header and getting in a foot. Now Sambiri. Aline chasing it. And Goddard cleans up. As we can tell you, viewers on channels 9 and 14, the good news that finally they are beginning to warm up the lights here at the National Stadium. Boris trying to go through the middle. Can Gomez save it? And he does. Gregory Thomas. Over the head of Kevin Barrow. Duncan. And Nigel Curry. To the far side. Boris trying to get on the edge. And he's all alone. Spencer. The tackle from Girawan. And the final shot.
That was the best chance of the game so far. But again, Princess Town is conceding space along the flank in deep positions behind the 2 midfield players out on the wing. And I think, I really do think that Girawan is committing himself too much into the middle of his defense, and Signal are very skillfully exploiting those 2 spaces. On either side of the pitch, that's for stealing. Boris, I thought, should have gone after it, hit it before it got to the ground. But certainly that was the best chance of the game, and Princess Town are very lucky being not up on me.
And the chance fell to Duncan, the captain.
There's the speed again.
And the ball coming across from Spencer. How did he miss? Seemed to have 2 tries at it. First to pick it up, and then the ball seemed to be in front of him again.
There's a space again, as far as I just said. The space is there, and they're beginning to use it, and Princess Town needs to cut it out. When I say that, I mean cut out the opportunity for Signal Hill to exploit those 2 spaces and be more compact and move that ball forward to Gomez, as they have been doing all season, as they have been doing in the opening 18 or 20 minutes. When they give Gomez the ball, he really does pull his things well, and you need to get it onto the floor and give it to him.
Goal taken by Jackson. Gomez doesn't collect. Whichwood comes off Kevin Barrow. Here's Phillips. Aline with the throw. This man to get his head whipped was Neil Lewis. And offside, I thought second barrel was offside, and he was. Took a bit, maybe perhaps an extra second before Ramesh Ramdan saw the linesman's flash.
Well, it was a good call and a good quick judgment by the linesman. And he certainly was offside.
Spencer going up again. That space that you were talking about on the Princestown left side, many times Nigel Shaw was able to exploit it in the first final. So always quickly onto it. Team of Neil Thomas. Duncan with the center. Spencer pulled away from his man and just couldn't direct the header. As there was a player coming in, Chip Spencer, nodding it back. In fact, it was Phillips who tried to get it back to Spencer. In the bad light, I'm mixing up number 6 and 8. Thomas attacking it and just forcing another through. Like a basketball game at times. The ball bouncing very high and players struggling to control. Played by Warren. Warren again. Ryan getting it out. Only passing. Phillips. This will be for the goalkeeper, but he stays. Thomas trying to get it clear. Not very far. Phillips with not a very handsome swing at it. Here comes Princestown once more. The ball bouncing unkindly for Derek Roberts. And Sunbury able to force at least a corner out of it. But we're not seeing exactly what you would expect.
No, I think that there's a certain ebb and flow to the game. Signal Hill announced their pull, if I can put it that way, of possession. And Guzman in goal for Princestown has come into the game more, while Goddard in goal for Signal Hill has become a piece of over the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. But I think that the two need to talk it out at half, and we're almost there. 6 more minutes on my clock. Put the ball back down on the floor as we saw in the opening 20 minutes and try to play some good football. It goes will come.
Goddard couldn't get it. It's the goal. It was claimed by Roger Sanders. Goddard went out for the ball, and one will have to put that down to a goalkeeping error. He seemed to miss it completely. A corner taken by Clifton Gomez, but someone tried to get a shot to it. And it just bounced away into the goal through the defense. But the original mistake, I think, was by the goalkeeper.
Well, he was judged that he came off the line and never was able to get at it. He was under it. It fell over his hand, and I think it caught the defender by surprise. He was expecting it. And young players always need to remember that despite the fact that an opposing player or one of your players might be going for a ball in the air in front of you, you always have to cater for the miss or the deflection. He clearly didn't. And it came back into the face of the goal and it entered the net. It's not the type of goal that we would have liked to see facing a game of this level or a game of this importance. But it is a goal, and hopefully, as you said, I think correctly, it will open the game up now.
Yes, there are now 45 minutes left of football in normal time. 5 minutes in the first half, and the remaining 40 minutes period. So there's still a great deal of time. The Signal Hill, as we say, would be disappointed by the way they scored on the time.
Yes, I think so, because they have been playing, particularly in defense, they have been playing well. In the opening 10 or 15 minutes, they did concede a few opportunities to Princess Town, but by and large, they kept the Princess Town players at bay. They haven't conceded very much, and they were holding their own. And to concede a goal like that must be disheartening. What they need to do is to show some maturity. I'm certain that they will. Coach can still move out to talk to them in a few minutes, and they need to forget that goal, put it behind them, and sure they will back into this game, hopefully from their point of view, within the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes on either side of halftime.
Calling for the handball committed by Maurice Jackson. Signal Hill will get the free kick. Woodford is the man behind it. Boris couldn't make the leap. Duncan against Thomas. Clash of two big men again, Real Thomas and Jason Duncan, the Signal Hill captain.
Well, that's a lot of meat on the hook there, actually. Two big guys. And, well, I know Duncan again from the under-20, but Real Thomas he comes in hard all the time, and he's also a useful player on the ball, which is good to see for someone so tough and so tall, so big.
Iran. He nails down, gets the ball back to Thomas. They work it back upfield. And the chase for Derek Roberts. In fact, Sambury is the goal scorer. Princess Town win a free kick. Duncan being warned by the referee for kicking the ball away. That's little Gregory Thomas who took the knock. And one has to say there isn't sufficient lighting being put on by the stadium people for this game in terms of television.
The team public either Ashford is not the best light, we not seen very well.
As Michael say, we can't safely tell you it's the player who's giving face. Into the cross again. Once more, T1 just gets it clear. He does the rest and he collects the return. Using the space. Sambury. Now, Evan Barrow lost it. Just doing mistake. Philip, you can keep it in. We have the chance for a break here. That Princess Town middle is not giving much away. Now Duncan. Robert. Just doesn't keep it under control. And Wesley offside. Must have been close. But here's Derek Roberts. Jackson. Sambury looking for the header. Aline brings it back over. This time the keeper uses his stick. And Phillips will keep it in. The tackle from Warren. Big twist. Boris Spencer decided to get out of the tackle, and the card being shown, I believe, to right Gillivan. Yes. Princestown skipper goes into Ramachandran Cook for the challenge. They're into time added on for stoppages. Roberts with the play. Miles over. And now it's the team of Princestown to worry about that. Because Gillivan is in an even more important position than Adrian Roberts on the team. The Signal Hill defender got 3 yellow cards in the first meeting. Also, playing as sweeper. He's booked in the first minute of stoppage time in the first half.
Yeah, I'm seeing the housing. So, we not want to see him go up at all. Because, of course, that would be a major factor of the flow to lose the captain, as I said. The man who was holding the team together at the back for the last time. Hopefully, for the sake of the game as well as
Really got the first half of 40 minutes earlier and that score by Robert Chamberlain 5 minutes before half time, and perhaps Princestown enjoyed the opening minutes of this team. Signal Hill would have felt a bit unlucky about conceding a goal when the team
well, they should be unlucky. They were and certainly at the time at which the goal was scored, they were not of the exchanges. It was a very at that point. They want to talk about second half time. They want to put that out in the second half, hoping to get that tying goal that equalizes within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half. Sound for their part. What they need to do, as I said, is to cover up that chance at the back of the defense, settle the ball on the floor, give it back to who really does play such a decent game in the field, and get their team forward going up front. And if they do that, I think
goes for by Robert Chamberlain. It means very nothing. And we will be commenting in time for the start. Get the second half started. So Signal Hill to draw level. In the first meeting, Signal Hill to but in the 2-minute period. Before Princestown equalized penalty. Let's go. Come on for Princestown. That's the first substitution. Roberts, Adrian Roberts. There should be 4 Roberts on the field. Princestown, and here is Adrian Roberts from Signal Hill. rebound scored from the corner just before half time. The ball managed to keep it down, but no problem the second time around for Princess Town to get it out. Let's go it. Q1 is covering. Have managed to come out of that really in the second half.
It was a good counter attack, rapidly. And again, when good but the keeper this time good. Into the box to match. Into that far area, just around the 6-yard line or so, could produce something for them. But the service will need to be good if they're to make anything out of it.
Who is the man behind it? And the card will come here for Clifton Gomez. He goes into the referee's book for breaking the line. And Gomez sensing the danger himself, was anxious to try and close it down. And Westwood takes it himself. So all in green, the free kick really was not made use of.
Well, it was a wasted kick. It was neither a shot nor a cross. I don't know what his intention really was. He went from a loose left foot of it. And as you see, it put it up. But I think perhaps a good cross ball from that angle for this good tall, powerful players that they have could have produced something.
Mistake, and it's an easy goal. A very uncharacteristic mistake here by Ike Clearman. And Britt Burris has equalized for Signal Hill. 16 minutes gone in the second half, and really, it came from the only player we wouldn't have expected that from. Just caught his possession for once, but in the wrong position, just outside the penalty area, and he really was punished for it.
Well, Neil, there it is. Football is being played with Ireland. Minutes after I was referring to his teaming casualness, but it was very serious comparison. 0-1 to all caution to the win. I don't know what he was thinking of, and I think the dribbler for the area gives away a goal. A very poor defending speed, and not what I beg your pardon, Pinkerton would have wanted at this stage.
So we've had two rather unfortunate goals where the defending teams are concerned. A goalkeeping error and an error by the keeper back and the Princess Town captain Ike Clearman.
Well, it's wide open now, Matt, but we still have, what would it be, about 23 minutes or so to play, which is a worth time and more than enough time to win or lose this game. I think at this stage, the team that wants to win more, the team that will win it. Because so far, it's been a fairly even and well-balanced game.
Room just getting a touch to it. Wobble, let's declare for Princess Town. Well, let's hope, Steve, that the tension has been taken out of both teams, each having been able to score.
What we're seeing a lot of right now is, I think panic has set in on the Princess Town side of the move, and in their eagerness to go forward, Signal Hill are doing what you see, which is just kicking the ball at each other. I think what the two teams need to do is to put the ball on the floor and try to see some good productive possession football.
Here's Groom. Tries to go inside to Birchwood, excellent ball, but Birchwood did collect it properly. Danbury now in a tussle with Neil Lewis, and he's bundled over, and the referee is going to call Neil Lewis for kicking the ball away, a very rash act after the whistle had gone, and he becomes, I think, the fourth player to go into the book, Neil Lewis.
I think that the two teams being carried away by the defense of last few minutes, and they need to simply keep football. You don't need to go into the book for such a silly mistake. This is what it is, kicking the ball away.
Lewis himself gets under the free kick. Birchwood with an awkward attempt at and Gregory Thomas takes another hard knock as he went up with Nigel Kerr, and he's still on the ground. Got to the ball first, but bowled over. And perhaps Princess Town needs to remember that Signal Hill traditionally don't back out of a contest.
This is correct. They have big strong lads, and I think that Princess Town have to see a speed, and I think they need to use that technique now and not get into a slugfest with Signal Hill.
Intercepted pass. Lewis gets to play again. They're really rushing about now. No attempt to use of space or play the ball back defensively. A lack of guile on the part of either team, for the moment at least.
Well, I think all sorts of tactics have gone out of the window, and the two teams really want to get at each other to get that what should be that winning goal. And I think that they're trying to take much too direct a route at this point. They're just pushing the ball forward at each other, and not very much good football is being played right now.
Signal Hill were warming up a player immediately before he went back on the bench. Actually, he's standing behind at the Signal Hill bench, and there is no sign that they intend to bring him on immediately. Warrior picked up by Gregory Thomas. Tristan Gomez. Two rather small players in the center for Princess Town. Gomez and Gregory Thomas, and it's a Clifton Gomez trying to run onto a pass here. It would really have been interesting had he been able to collect.
Well, it was good reading of the offside trap, or the attempted offside trap by Signal Hill and by both players. The player who made the pass and by Gomez on the run. Had the last continuity, he would have gone straight down the middle of the...
Good Boris getting the ball back to... Yes, Duncan. Boris again. Cross goes astray. The throw is well onside. He's looking for support, but Roberts is a good way off. And Roberts showed too much of the ball to Jackson. Martin. Philip. And I think you're quite right, Pete. There are many people jostling for the ball, and Signal Hill will probably enjoy it more than Princess Town.
Oh, very much so. This type of game is very good for Signal Hill. They will not run from this physical confrontation, and they will probably win it. Princess Town needs to play a much smarter game than that if they want to win this game.
All sorts of wild challenges going in there. And finally the shot coming from the left side. It was Jason Duncan. But if anything good came out of that shot, it was that the mad scramble that was taking place came to a halt, at least temporarily.
Precisely. I think, as I said in the course of the last 5 minutes, 85 times, the two teams, but in particular, the team which has the better technique, which is the Princess Town team, they need to settle the game down, use it, and conform to the pattern that they've been using all season. Actually, Signal Hill also needs to do it, but the rush about physical game that's taking place now and has been going on for the last 5 or 6 or 7 minutes is a game that they will win.
Here's Duncan in the middle this time. Down. At the end of this season, I'll still be wondering why does Clifton Gomez have to come back to take a free kick. Here he is again.
He should be concentrating on taking a neutral position to gain possession and go forward from attack. That ball goes forward now. He's way too deep to be of any use. He should just do this front runners. He's behind the defensive people.
An attempted pass. Really impossible. Boris does well to keep it in place. And after all of that, Ike might come away with it. Worrell. Signal Hill now ready to make their substitution. Yes, Duncan. And now perhaps we can. It looks to be Colin Phillips might be the player coming off, is it? No, they are asking for number 2, Adrian Roberts, the right back. So Colin Phillips started as a sweeper in the final. In the replay has played the left side of midfield, the center of midfield, and now he's gone to the right back. And the first player coming on is number 11, Lucas Dillon. I believe, the first player who's on the ball now for the winning goal against QRC in the big quarter-final. Here's Dillon in possession immediately, and he could have had a glorious entry into this game, but perhaps he would have been better advised to try and bring the ball across.
Yes, he certainly would not have beaten the goal at that angle. But here it was someone who was concentrating more on playing the man that the ball, and he lost the physical concentration. He was pushed over. Continued to maybe 10 or 15 yards area.
Here's Dillon once more. Duncan. And Crew has to reset. Volley clear by Marlon Warren. Abby Roberts couldn't knock the ball back properly for 14 flicker.
I think the whole organization has disappeared from the Pakistan game right now. And they're not looking to be productive on the ball. There's no pattern to their possession. And they've very much in danger, I believe, of losing this right now, or within regulation time, because Signal Hill have a lot of possession, and the game basically needs to be somehow.
And it's going to be a goal kick as the referee.
Of course, having said that, we know too well in football, it seems that is enjoying a good period of possession. Very often it seems to concede a goal on the counter-attack. And Pakistan do have players who can score on the counter-attack to Signal Hill. For their part, also need to be very careful when they pick up.
This is Woodward. Duncan. Phillips. Inside, picked up by Woodward. Good pass to Gillan. Gillan trying to get Burt inside, and that's got to be, no, it's it wide by Burt Boris, as he did in the Intercol semi-final against Malik.
Well, that could have been the chance to the game. With 15 minutes or 12 minutes left, my watch or my clock, a goal at this point would certainly be something to consider. Because Pakistan right now are not looking very penetrating, and with Signal Hill to score goals, I think that although we have seen the Pakistan capacity to respond many times over in this Intercol series, they would be in some very deep water, given the way in which the Signal Hill defense is dominating their front runners right now.
Well, I did say, just to correct myself, that Signal Hill, in fact, it was Boris had two bad misses against Barataria in the national semi-final. Plays it out to now Johnson. 11 minutes left. Trying to go in and put on the pressure. Let's see. They've got to play a wide, but center is far too wide. Tries to bring it over. Warren. Signal Hill. Keep the pressure on.
They're playing to the regular partner. So they're playing much better football now. They're trying to pass the ball around, which they're doing quite well. Maintaining possession, bringing it forward in a productive manner, moving it around to find the space to penetrate. And it's looking much better from a point of view now. They are playing all the football in the game right now. Pakistan, they're totally disorganized. The team is not pressurizing. The team who are having the run of the pass. And they very much in the
Through with the corner. Only as far as Clifton Gomez. Pardon me, this is Abby Roberts. Fresh man on.
After that, there is very little marking taking place in the center of the Pakistan defense. You need to be very, very careful at this point.
Anything out of it. And the player being stopped in the back. From the position.
pole. And westward and tried to get back onto the side and keep going along the chasing part of the ball, which was just in his left and have a goal.
We have picked up three. Two, Richwood, forward, and two again, and he's going straight to goal this time. And isn't that far off, I thought.
And he keeps looking for the full post shot. And we've seen enough of goalkeepers this man to know that he will have to do very, very, very well to beat him on that post shoot. But at the same time, we saw Dillon closing in on the far post and holding his head upwards. I think he was looking for the cross. And had the cross come in on the far post, it should have produced something for the hill. I don't think he could have stopped it.
Intercol struggling to get back into this game. It's a 1-all score, but they're being pressed at all times. Abby Roberts going against the goalkeeper, and here's Roberts. He's going to... It is a goal. He's got his knee to touch it. And Abby Roberts, 7 minutes left of normal time, and he charges down the ball and follows it into the goal. He's the goalkeeper to this at the top of the penalty area and just followed it home.
A little while ago, when I see him enjoying a good period of time, he just kept the track because he can consider going on the top of the track. This was a classic example of a good deep ball, came off the head of the and then we lose two as he's having such a good field. But fairly enough space for Roberts to run onto it and let it go to touch could not make it in time. And it was a classic of some of the classic when you have two
the effort there. So it's a 2-1 lead now, Princess Town. That was another kickoff because when Princess had restarted the game, Roger Sanders was now running back after and just on the touch line, and he actually was in the Signal Hill half of the field. Dillon knocks back. Have no time to waste. They've got to keep possession. Spencer. Newton will take the throw. Roberts got the head to the corner to Signal Hill.
He's always a good deep ball.
And we have this boosted
that is sometimes the best, and I would have thought that he would pick up all the far post and let us some something it's all good action and we go after.
typically they have the team with the fight. But I'm not sure what that was about.
And I lost the two up.
Halfway line, the national Douglas team has been trying to get the expression of Afghanistan down. But there's something about to be used. Both managers there. And the Princess Town bench, it seems. must be something that he said.
He must have said something to the court, or said something about the meeting this type of action from every round down.
So there'll be a lot of time added on. Because we've almost completed 37 minutes of the second half. Players are all around. They're taking possession immediately. This is some senior comprehensive for about 3 minutes to keep and winning the national Intercol title for the first time in history. Until 1993, zonal competition. They were crowned the champions last year. But this stopped the title. They were so moved the one in the Intercol competition.
The team is putting a good report at them, in a good front position. We have from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top. This header is Martin. This header headed to the goal. But I was a little more for the score last year. But it hasn't been done.
Headed by Smith. Good. Group. And the lucky here. It is solid. It is time to put the goal and he opted for the pass. Really one would have to say he probably doesn't have something to do with it.
And that was, of course, he should have shot or even attempted to go past one where he could have done the quickest player. He left it to the pass and again, I think let's see what's not the possible.
Let's see. Mistake, and this time it will be a goal kick because Broom got the last shot. Abby Roberts who scored the winning goal, or what could be the winning goal, got the important challenge there.
But I think that's what if you want to win
Dillon, Gomez, let's see actually go on, but he has Broom. And it was just a bit too far ahead of him. This much will take this. Everything is still right, Prince John, and just about 2 seconds to put. We've been all sorts of trouble.
But that's the top traffic rule I said down. And they're looking much more organized now. They had to take most of the second half.
And we are now into time added on for stoppages. 2-1 to Princess Down. Signal Hill, beaten in 1983 in the final. Just 1 goal separating the 2 teams. Can they get back? 0-1 with the header, but it's a chase now. And he has to put the ball is there. Thomas getting in front of Mr. Hill.
I just wanted to say a quick word about Warren Rashford. We've been talking about Thomas and Joan, but I think that Walden has been very solid defender for them all through the Intercol series. He's a very good player. He's doing well. He's very determined in the tackle. He's on his path.
Certainly the Princess Down once again in the secondary schools of 1994. And it's good. Things are passing the ball at every time. And Tambourine has to see the corner and try to get the ball from the top of the number. 1 minute of stoppage time. Change of ball. The keeper got a chance to it.
Very brave, came off his line, and look at point twice, 250.
Signal hit can ill afford to lose the ball at the speed, and it's a free kick for Princess Town. And with every pass to second, the South champions get closer. What would already be their greatest year thus far in secondary school competition.
It can be that they have to be racing.
Champion has been crowned. Not to make new appearance of 1994, the new season, but Princess Town Senior Comprehensive, who have never before won a close competition, are the defeating for National Coca-Cola Intercol champions. Has drawn 6 middle level. So for second chapter of the new season, Sydney are the greatest.
The heart must go. But some music final of these, but with these two must be heartbreaking and very frustrating. On the other hand, it's an open the two sides have come all the way. The two sides in 1997, I believe there are two of the South has won the Intercol trophy, so they broke the South. With the South teams having lost the single players. In the Princess Town line must be immeasurable at this point. The fans, not as many as came up to the semi-final against Mali several days ago. Another came to Kinna Park, but the fans are on as we see, and they're having a good old time, and one can really feel happy for them. It's a landmark day for them, and they're going to the history book.
And remember, as you would remember in 1990 and 1993 with Malik, especially as two at the helm in 1980, there must be in their heart the thought of a possible victory here.
Oh, naturally, they would be riding on a cloud from now on to the semi-final games. It's a very valid team on Friday evening. The Friday at Kinna Park. They will be going to that full of confidence, full of enthusiasm with their journalists. A double in their very first year of Milwaukee. Malik wants to something at a national level also. The FIFA here is the team that we all are certainly looking forward to. But tonight belongs to Princess Town. And we will find it very hard.
And we are going to make an attempt to take on the presentation as well. The president of the second of the school supervision services with a representative from Coca-Cola. But we will not wait to drift of the joyful band of Princess Town supporters. Signal Hill players have gone straight to the dressing room, and that is understandable. Most of the Signal Hill players have been in this position from last year. With Boris, Spencer, Nicky Johnson, Nigel Hill, Roger Bloom, Colin Phillips, Adrian Roberts, they were all there last year.
As I said, my hand goes out to them to lose any final, but not I cannot what that is that. Particularly, one might ask for the players who will not be back next season have come that close twice to walk away and be handed must be very shattering experience.
So now Signal Hill have to concentrate with this competition, and they go back into action on Friday. So it's still going to be an interesting season for them if they can force their way into the final of the league. Princess Town, meanwhile, have to play Malik once again, and that will be at Kinna Park on Friday afternoon. The other game will be played at Arena. And El Dorado Senior Comprehensive, the last remaining East Zone team in any competition, they will come up against the Tobago champions. Both matches will be played on Friday.
I am particularly, on a personal note after that, particularly happy to see man who, as I said, is a young man whom I have a lot of respect for, and who I know with. And last season, while they were doing well, of course they wanted to try to last year, but the Intercol series, that series, like the game that he would call me and say, coach, we did well, we play in the South, and we were too much forward to coming up to the Northern National Series, and we did not realize last year, but it has materialized, and this year, the team has come all the way. We have played the national team and the trophy, and no doubt right now he's feeling on top of the world. And I should add, he will come out after giving away such a full game.
Yes, it must be a relief for him because, as you noticed, he takes his defensive role also seriously. At the same time, it must be noted that St. Benedict College, the team that beat them to the South League title, St. Benedict, unfortunately have not emerged as far as concerned. So they have done enough to prove that they really are probably the best team in the South, even though they were beaten by, I think, just 1 point in the league competition.
That's correct, and I think over the last 2 days, that they have been the most the best team in the South. They won the league title last year. They were fifth at the line, so to speak, this year. They've won the Intercol in the South. They've won the National Intercol. They're going forward into the league championship on Friday. And I think that over the last 2 years, it is safe to say that they have been the best in the nation team, and one can only be happy.
Well, they are trying to have the execution of trophies here at the National Stadium.
I think what delaying us as far is that immediately on the referee final whistle, the entire team, Princeton County, immediately got into the tunnel and also to the dressing room. And we have to await the re-emergence from that tunnel so the trophy can be presented.
And unfortunately, I might add, the time is not on our side. So at this stage, I think we will have to cut it off and abandon the idea of giving a prize presentation to remind us as we leave the National Stadium that Princeton are the Coca-Cola National Intercol champions at 2-1 over the goal scored by Stanley and Happy Roberts. The signal hill goal was from the boot of Bert Boris. And with it, we bid you good evening from the National